Hello everybody from Arlo White in the Live Broadcast Studio, and welcome to highlights of another excellent day's golf on Super Saturday in Greenbrier. Now, Live Golf history was made by this man, the high flyers Brendan Steele. This is his second shot at the par 5 17th. In it goes, the first albatross in league history, and it's Brendan Steele who is all smiles. Cam Smith teed off at 18 today. He made a par there, then proceeded to card a 27 over the front 9 holes to briefly take the lead. This was his third at 12, an eagle for Cam there, but he was overall level par through his last 8 holes and his 3 off the lead. Brooks Koepka is seeking a 5th Live Golf title. No other man has more than 3. A pair of 64s for Brooks. He's 12 under par. That was his birdie putt at 18. But today was all about Jon Rahm, who is hunting a second straight win in the Live Golf League after his first victory at the JCB in the UK, and he's also hunting down Wako Neiman for the overall title of Live Golf League champion for 2024. A remarkable round of 62 today for Jon Rahm. That was his second into 17. This is his tee shot at 18. And you wouldn't bet against Jon Rahm going back-to-back and taking a lead into the final regular season event in Chicago in 3 weeks' time, seeking a first prize of $18 million. And he rounded things off superbly with a birdie putt at the first, an 8 under par 62 today. Jon Rahm will take a 2-stroke lead into Championship Sunday. Ripper lead the team comp by 1.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what is up, everybody? It is Tuesday. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. For those of you watching on SportsGrid TV or you're watching on YouTube, you can use the QR code in the bottom left corner of your screen. You'll find out everything you need to know about 7 Mile Casino. It's the place to be in San Diego if you want to play blackjack, poker, other table games, have incredible food at Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, watch all the games on the TVs throughout this casino, and there's no smoking. It's right off the freeway, and it's only 7 minutes out to downtown San Diego. All right, we are underway. Grande, Brown Man, what a night last night in the National League West. We are scoreboard watching every night. What are the Dodgers doing? How are the Padres doing? What's happening with Arizona? And last night, all these teams won, and there were storylines, it seemed like, in every game. For the Dodgers, the very quiet, under-the-radar return of Max Muncy, who hit a home run last night. That was an interesting story. Gavin Stone, their starting pitcher, a kid who got off to such a great start this year, had come back down to earth, had 10 strikeouts. That was a big story for the Dodgers. For Arizona, they've got a rookie who's a kid from Miami. They're playing down in Miami. This kid had 6 RBIs last night, had a section of the stadium all to himself of all of his people. That was an interesting story. And the Padres return home and beat the Minnesota Twins and now have a nice little homestand here. So what a night last night. Great stories, all winners, and no change in the standings. Grande, Brown Man, fellas, how we doing? What's good, yo?
Yeah, dude, it's that time of season where I feel like everyone's scoreboard watching, because Monday nights, it's beer league softball nights in the Padilla realm. And last night we're literally having a phone in our dugout watching Padres Twins as we're, up to bat. Like that's the stage of the season we wish every game counts. Jump in the car, turn on the Dodger game on the radio. It's just like it's scoreboard watching every single night. And it's fantastic. I love it. It's fun. It's fun when your team's in it.
Right. When your team's in it and it's super, super competitive. When, frankly, at around the All-Star break, most Padre fans and most Diamondback fans did not think you'd be chasing the Dodgers. Everybody kind of thought the Dodgers would run away.
Gotta tell you, it's August 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Merrill's the Rookie of the Year. Paul Skeens has been great. I just want to say this because I'm not saying one's better than the other or whatever the case may be. Paul Skeens has been great. for Pittsburgh. Jackson Merrill has been great for a playoff team in clutch moments pretty much the entire second half of the year. If I'm a voter, that has to mean something. Paul Skeens is going to be a superstar. There's no doubt about that. He's an electric pitcher who's effective once every 5 days. We're watching Jackson Merrill go out there and be effective night after night after night. That's got to be worth something. Now, he may not have received all the preseason pub, or we didn't see him coming. So I guess it doesn't feel the same, but the effect of what he's done has absolutely been felt in this organization, in this roster, and in this fan base. And I think because they didn't predict him coming like they did Paul Skeens, he's not getting the same credit that Paul Skeens is getting. Because if they told you from day one, Jackson Merrill's the number one prospect, and Jackson Merrill's going to do this, and Jackson Merrill's going to do that, there would be no doubt he's Rookie of the Year. But because they didn't, and he came out of nowhere previously, that's why we don't hear to talk about him like this.
Yeah,
but
I like it.
He's a Rookie of the Year, dog.
No, I like it. I do. And I'm glad, Browner, that, look, we all watch this team every night. We all watch this division every night. And around the country, I can tell you right now, in New York, they're watching the AL East and they're keeping their eyes on the Yankees.
Yeah.
They're watching the NL East. They're keeping their eyes on the Mets. By the way, the Mets last night, we had a controversy here a few years ago when Fernando Tatis hit a home run on a 3-0 count against the Texas Rangers. And that was the beginning of what we all know now as Slam Diego. That happened last night in the Mets game. I was watching SportsCenter last night, and they actually showed the TV booth. And I don't remember who it was. It was like Keith Hernandez, and I don't remember who the other guys were in the booth. And it was a 3-0 count. And they're like, what do you do here? You give them the green light? And they're like, oh, no, you definitely take. And on a 3-0 count, dude from the Mets hit a game-winning walk-off home run. And I don't know, it wasn't a grand slam. It was the kid in the Diamondbacks game that hit the grand slam off Miami. But, there is so much excitement right now as you follow this division and you follow these teams. And I'm glad you're using the national airwaves on SportsGrid, be it on TV or on radio, to hype Jackson Merrill. If you hype Jackson Merrill on local radio airwaves, nobody cares. Nobody hears it. But there are people in New York and Philadelphia and Atlanta and Miami and all along the Eastern Seaboard that are like, Jackson Merrill, I mean, I kind of think I've heard the name, but I don't really know that much because I don't stay up late enough to watch Padres versus Twins.
Right.
But Alex, put up the numbers for everybody. I mean, Browner's making the case for Jackson Merrill.
Yep, these are his rookie rankings so far this season. He's hitting .290, which is best amongst qualified rookies. 18 home runs is second most. 69 RBIs is the most. His 805 OPS is the most. And he's catching up because the rookie of the year odds are now down to 145.
Mm-hmm.
And there's rumors, although they have been kind of shot down by the Pirates, that
they may shut down Skeens.
Could Paul Skeens be shut down?
Yeah. I've heard a lot of those rumors. Like if Pittsburgh's not going anywhere, like why put wear and tear on this kid's arm?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a legitimate thing to be concerned about. When you're young and you don't think you'll ever get hurt or you'll ever run down or you'll ever run out of gas, you're like, no, I'm going to keep on going. But if the Pirates were smart when they're really, truly, ultimately eliminated, it'd probably be the smartest thing to do. If you're the ownership, if you're the ownership, you're like, no, because there's like 7,000 people here when he's not pitching, and there's like 30,000 people here when he is pitching. Pitch him.
I hate that plan. If I'm the ownership, I cut the checks, bro. You run him out there when he's supposed to be out there. Take extra care of him, but you play him when he's supposed to play. Because look at what happened with Steven Strasburg. They gave Steven Strasburg every, pedal to walk on and every rose to smell, and he still got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to get hurt. They're going to get hurt. Steve Strasburg was amazing when he was healthy. But remember, they took him out. They were making a run for the World Series, and they shut him down.
Yeah.
Like, for what? For what? Obviously, it's hard to have that kind of foresight, but this is a business decision. If I'm Pittsburgh and if I'm Paul Skeens, I see myself pitching late into the year every year after this. So pitch me now. Pitch me now.
I think the argument against it would be that I'd rather sacrifice the final 6 weeks of the season than sacrifice 6 months next year if he gets hurt. I think it's you get more money having him healthy next year, building him up on an off season of hype instead of damn, he jacked up his elbow like Tyler Glasnow, and now he's not even going to pitch at all next year. So it's just like I get it both ways. I do understand.
Right,
like,
I agree
you know,
too. I agree what you're
the
saying.
kids going for rookie of the year. The team's never had such that I can remember. That team's never had as much excitement, energy around one player. But to me, I don't know about you guys personally. I don't care who wins rookie of the year because Corbin Carroll won rookie of the year last year. It would have been a fart in the wind in Arizona. But you know what made it better? They made it to the
They went to the World Series. Listen, I'm with you.
That's what's going to make Jackson Merrill better.
These individual honors, I don't really care about either. Like, it always bothers me. Like, we're halfway through the NBA season and all everybody's talking about who's going to be the MVP. I'm like, who cares about an individual honor? Don't you care about your team winning? So we got a lot to get to. You know, Jackson Merrill, another great night, but he is, Browner, I like what you're doing. I like pushing him for rookie of the year. We'll get to that story. Max Muncy, to me, like, I knew when Walker Buehler was coming back to pitch for the Dodgers, I thought there was, I'm not going to suggest to you that there was like massive fanfare, but it was being discussed for days in advance. Max Muncy came back to the Dodgers last night, hit a home run. And I don't know about you guys, but it was under my radar. Like, I didn't even know that Max Muncy was making it back last night. Tommy Edmonds, same thing. Got traded to the Dodgers and made his debut last night. So we'll get to all of the stuff that happened around the NL West beyond just with the San Diego Padres. We'll get to all that coming up. Lots of football to get to today. Tua and his rip job on his former coach, I want to get there. Tom Brady on with Stephen A. Smith, I want to get there. And the Chargers get their quarterback back. We got so much to get to. We're just underway. This is Kaplan and Crew.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockhold. Right hand right back from Mike Perry.
Could I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah, folks. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Perry on the target. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double check. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining on the
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Hey, great friends. What is happening? This is Kaplan and Crew. Got Grande, got the Brown Man. We're in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. We got a lot to get to today. A ton of NFL football that we want to get to. A lot of NL West baseball. And just, I mean, there's so much happening today. And I just kind of was looking. Today is August 20th. And now we are in T-minus less than 2 weeks to get going here with the NFL season. So not next Thursday, but the following Thursday. So maybe it's 2 weeks and change. But the point is that we got college football happening this weekend. Ton of college football stories we're going to get to today. And just a lot of NFL and a lot of baseball. So going to try and get to all of it today. Like usually we come in and we got like 4 or 5 hours worth of stuff and we get to about, 5 things. Today I'm going to try and get to all of it because we got that much going on. Before we do, fellas, just want to say this right here. This segment of Kaplan and Crew is being brought to us by our friends at Blenders Eyewear. BlendersEyewear.com. You save 20% when you use our code Kaplan. I see a lot of people that are happening right now in our live YouTube chat. Dead Meow 5. I know you went out and got your new blenders. You can order them from wherever you are around the country, 20% off when you use our code Kaplan. Now, one quick note. There is a slight blenders controversy that I'm not sure you guys are aware of.
Me and Browner?
That's correct. Dramatic
Okay, go.
pause. Dramatic
Okay, go.
pause.
Yeah.
So one of our all-time greatest of great friends, Fat Tony,
Oh God.
he went and got the tattoo. Remember the little tattoo challenge from a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Fat Tony is coming to me and he's like, dude, they're not giving me my $2,000 worth of store credit when I got the tattoo. I said, well, did you follow all the things that they told you to do? Because he went with Tommy. The two of them got the tattoo at the same time. And he says, this is Fat Tony, that he's contacted the store manager in Pacific Beach and that no one's getting back to him. I'm like, bro, I don't know if that was the right protocol to get your $2,000 of store credit. So today I sent a picture of Fat Tony and Tommy, both with their new Blenders tattoos. And I sent them to Chase Fisher and said, Chase, help me. Tell me what to do here. So.
Okay. As a person, and y'all know, I love Fat Tony. As a person who doesn't necessarily read all the instructions or really follow most of the directions, I just need to get my hands on stuff and then I figure it out. That's kind of how I operate. Half directions, half, trial by fire. I prefer it that way. If Tommy got the tattoo and got the money, the credit, and they got the tattoo at the same time, which one did something different where he didn't get the money and the other one did? That seems like an instruction following situation. That's what they refer to as a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah.
Big fella, come on, Fat Tony. What we doing, brother?
Yeah.
What we doing? You got to do better, fam. You mean to tell me Tommy got the tat and the money, but you didn't, and y'all got the tat at the same time at the same place? Come on now. Talk to me. Talk to me, big fella, because I need to know where you went wrong.
Yeah, I know. I sent Chase the picture and I said, look, it was August 16th. I think that was the date. Maybe I was earlier. But I sent him the picture. I'm like, look, Fat Tony and Tommy got the exact same tattoo at the exact same time. I'm like, yet Tommy got his 2,000. Fat Tony did not. Alex, how about your buddy Alex that you went and you live streamed him getting the tattoo? Did he get the 2,000?
I have no idea. I haven't heard anything. So,
yeah, you see, you should message him and ask him. So there you go. Do this. You can buy all these great sunglasses, the polarized lenses, the awesome frames. Everything is so fashionable. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to scratch those super expensive glasses. You're going to break them. You're going to lose them. You're going to be pissed. With Blenders, you buy like 5 pairs. And you save 20% when you use our code Kaplan. Okay. Let me go back to what we were talking about earlier because we were talking about the National League West. And Browner brought up that he thinks Jackson Merrill should be the Rookie of the Year. Alex, you presented all of the data. He is like tops in all the offensive categories for rookies. Batting average, home runs, and every other, stat you might use. Last night, Jackson Merrill had another great night. I think it was 3 for 4 last night. And what would the Padres be without this kid right now? I made this comment yesterday about Fernando Tatis and about how the stats say they're 31-15 without him. Now, everybody gets pissed off when I go out there and I just give you the facts. Oh, he's a game changer. Oh, he's the face of the team. I thought the same thing at the beginning of the year about Fernando Tatis. Turns out, guess what? I was wrong. This is Manny Machado's baseball team. I thought it was supposed to be Fernando Tatis's team. It isn't. It's Manny's team. So, look, I'm not saying to you, don't bring him back. Hurry up. Get him back. Let's see how much better they might be with him. But where would these guys be without Jackson Merrill? Grande, can we hear what Merrill said last night after the game?
yes.
Yeah, it's unreal. And I'm really confident in us. We're having a lot of fun right now. We're going to keep having fun until the season's over. So, I'm really loving it. I showed up at like 11:30 today and sat in my car for like 30 minutes. I didn't even realize it was 11:30. I just was in the routine of getting here early. But, yeah, I love being here.
Sat in the car till
probably like 12 and I came in here. But I was like, I'm too early. I can't go in there yet. I'm going to piss the Cubbies off.
Was anyone else in here when you got in?
No. I think Higgy came in like 5 minutes after me.
The kid just wants to play ball, man. He's 21 years old. He's a child. You know what I mean? He can be playing college ball. Yeah, it is.
There's a quote from Michael King last night. Michael King had a decent outing, started off rough, but figured it out at the end. And this is like so telling of what Jackson Merrill, besides what he's bringing as far as output, this is what this child is bringing to a clubhouse full of superstars and multi-hundred millionaire players. This is Michael King saying he's 21 years old. Everything he does is baseball. It's not like he has family that he goes home to and that kids and that he goes and talks to. He gets to the field. He's so happy to be here. And he talks about how we're all his best friends and we're just having fun. Now me sitting here having a bad outing, I look at Jackson. I'm like, that's the mentality I need to have. It's just his contagious mentality. We go out and we're playing the kids game. We're loving each other. And it's a lot easier game when you're playing for your brothers.
That was Tatis about 4 years ago. Before Tatis became such a huge star, before he got his big contract, before he got his big ego, before he thought he could ride motorcycles, before he thought he could take steroids, before he thought, when he was just a kid, before he was the man, that's who Tatis was when he was a little baby. And I'm telling you right now, Jackson Merrill, 21 years old, his energy is invading this entire clubhouse. Now, hold on a second. The Dodgers last night, you talk about energy. You get a pitching performance like they did out of Gavin Stone where he had 10 strikeouts, and you get Max Muncy to return to Dodger Stadium in uniform and hit a monster bomb home run. That is the sort of energy that the Dodgers are looking for. As you know, we talked about how Jeff Passan predicted they were going to pull away, but they're starting to put their team back together. So as fun as this whole thing has been, to where the Padres and Diamondbacks got to within 2, and everybody won last night and the standings all remain the same. It's starting to get really juicy now because the Dodgers are putting their team back together. The Padres are on fire. This thing's getting fun. All right, stick around. More still to come. This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
Hello everybody from Arlo White in the Live Broadcast Studio, and welcome to highlights of another excellent day's golf on Super Saturday in Greenbrier. Now, Live Golf history was made by this man, the high flyers Brendan Steele. This is his second shot at the par 5 17th. In it goes, the first albatross in league history, and it's Brendan Steele who is all smiles. Cam Smith teed off at 18 today. He made a par there, then proceeded to card a 27 over the front 9 holes to briefly take the lead. This was his third at 12. An eagle for Cam there, but he was overall level par through his last 8 holes and his 3 off the lead. Brooks Koepka is seeking a 5th Live Golf title. No other man has more than 3. A pair of 64s for Brooks. He's 12 under par. That was his birdie putt at 18. But today was all about Jon Rahm, who is hunting a second straight win in the Live Golf League after his first victory at the JCB in the UK, and he's also hunting down Wako Neiman for the overall title of Live Golf League champion for 2024. A remarkable round of 62 today for Jon Rahm. That was his second into 17. This is his tee shot at 18. And you wouldn't bet against Jon Rahm going back-to-back and taking a lead into the final regular season event in Chicago in 3 weeks' time, seeking a first prize of $18 million. And he rounded things off superbly with a birdie putt at the first. An 8 under par 62 today. Jon Rahm will take a 2-stroke lead into Championship Sunday. Ripper lead the team comp by 1.
All right, everybody. Hey, this is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. And I just want to remind everybody as we start this next segment, August 31st, it is a Saturday afternoon, and we are going to hold our fantasy football draft downtown San Diego at Gaslamp Tavern, and really upstairs on the 3rd floor at Paddock on 5th. This is the only place to play Del Mar, Saratoga, and every other horse racing track in the country. They've got a live teller. So if you are like me and you like to actually take physical cash and make your wager with a teller, you can do that. They've also got all the machines that you have at all the tracks around the country. So you can watch and listen and bet and do everything right there at Paddock on 5th. And Browner, August 31st, it is on our fantasy football draft at the Gaslamp Tavern.
Absolutely. I cannot wait. You guys know we love getting together with you guys. We love sitting down with you. We love having time with you, whether it's great friends, hangouts, or whether it's the boat. We love getting to see you guys and hang out, you know. So the fantasy football thing, it's going to be competitive, though, because, you know, nobody wants to lose. And now that we got weekly prizes coming through courtesy of our dog, Rick, this season's going to be lit. This might be our best season ever. So if you're trying to get on this and you're trying to get a dub, you're trying to get some cash in your pocket, you come on down. August 31st. All right? Saturday. You can't have no more fun than this on Saturday morning. And you get that grilled cheese.
Yeah. In fact, I think Rick was saying that he might be like delivering some of those short rib grilled cheeses to you guys. I don't know what the deal is exactly.
That's a rumor.
That was a rumor.
Hey,
controversy continued, by the way.
Yeah, which controversy?
I just got a message back from my buddy Alex, who we live streamed the tattoo. Also been ghosted.
Oh man, we're gonna have to deal with this. Guys can't be getting tattoos of blenders and not be getting that $2,000 in store credit and then blaming us for it. I don't care. I mean, if they get the credit, great. If they don't get the credit, that sucks. But you can't be blaming us. I can't take the guilt. You know what I mean?
Can't have it.
No, can't have that.
Can't do it.
Hey, by the way, I want to tell you guys, at the commercial break, my son, who's watching and listening in Pittsburgh, sends me this message. He goes, "Damn, dog, you sound like a Dodger fan." I go, "I do?" And then David here, David P in our live YouTube chat is like, "Scott, you're starting to sound like a Dodger fan." Here's my thought. My thought is that, you know, the Padres are our team that we follow and we're emotionally invested in every day. But to me, and I've been saying this for probably the last 6-7 weeks, you're chasing the Dodgers. You're always looking up. You're trying to go after the Dodgers. And when I think about it, you know, nationally speaking, the Dodgers are a brand, like the Lakers are a brand. The Padres and the Twins, that's the kind of game we would laugh at. You know, I mean, if the Marlins were playing the Twins, we'd have no interest in that. So I'm thinking about everybody else around the country going, okay, we're kind of pushing NL West stuff on everybody because that's what we've always done, but we were doing it locally. Now we got all these national airwaves. I don't know. Am I sounding like a Dodger fan by saying that Max Muncy comes back and hits a big home run and Gavin Stone has 10 strikeouts and it's that much more exciting that the Dodgers are putting their team back together while the Padres are making this crazy run? Does it sound like fandom?
To some people, but that's what
so.
I you know, it's really fascinating when you just social media is just one of those places, right? Like last night I put the same clip of you talking about Tatis. Padres are better without Tatis. I'm not saying I'm not, and I remember your quote. I'm not saying that because I don't like him. I'm just saying that because those are the numbers, right? I put that exact clip on both X and Instagram. X, everybody's like, "You're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. This is a tired narrative, blah, blah, blah." Put it on Instagram. Couldn't agree more. Been saying this for years. Blah, 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 blah. So it's just like, I don't know what people hear, but I just know what we say will get heard and spewed out in a very different way. You know, like, it's just what it is.
But you got to understand it. You got to understand the difference between the sites, okay? Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, it's a cesspool of negativity. So whatever you go on there, expect a negative reply. Instagram still has a level of human to it because it's image driven. So whatever's up there, people are seeing you, you're seeing them. Right. It's not a lot of hidden avatars.
So I guess the way I look at the NL West right now is, are some Padres fans don't even want to talk Dodgers because you don't think you're going to get there? Like, would you prefer us to even just be like, look at it this way? Like, currently, the Padres have a 5.5 game lead in the wild card. You want us to say that as a Padre fan? Because that's the truth, too. They have a 5.5 game lead in the wild card. And what I mean by that is, like, they have 5.5 games over being the last wild card spot. Would you want us to take the Browner approach and not talk about the NL West because that's never going to happen?
Until you get it. Why would we? I'm with them.
Yeah.
God is a Dodger fan.
Am I? Am I a Dodger fan?
Listen, I'm with the people, but I know what you're doing. So I'm with the people.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all a little interesting secret, okay? I'll tell you a little interesting secret. Get y'all behind the counter, okay? We moved up. We still love y'all. Don't get me wrong, but we moved up. So we got to talk about other stuff.
Well, I'll just say this. When you see me wearing an LA Dodger hat, that's when you can tell me I'm a Dodger fan. In the meantime, I'm just trying to balance things out.
Because get you when you throw out the first pitch.
I ain't throwing out no first pitch. No first pitch. All right. Anyway, listen. Ian O'Connor is going to talk to us about his new book that gets released today about Aaron Rodgers next.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingstrom to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingstrom, he'll feel like this is a moment, a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
Play. That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton, who's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match.
14.
Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
All right, great friends. Hey, it is a Tuesday, and wherever you may be around the country, I'll say good mid-morning to those of you that are with us on the West Coast, and good afternoon to those of you that are with us on the East Coast. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. We're broadcasting all over SportsGrid Radio, channel 159 on Sirius XM. We're also broadcasting on SportsGrid Television and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Apple and Spotify and everywhere else that you get audio or video. It's Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. Now, Alex, I just received a text message from our man Jimmy Shapiro, who says that he has not gotten the link for the Ian O'Connor interview. And by the way, I told him, I'm like, I saw it. Let me just set this all up before Ian gets here. Ian O'Connor is a very famous author. Today, his brand new book drops. It's called Out of the Darkness, and it's the story about Aaron Rodgers. And Ian O'Connor is a guy that probably when you see him, if you don't already know the name, you're going to see him and you're probably going to know him because you've seen him on ESPN a million times. Ian O'Connor has written so many great New York Times bestsellers about Coach K, so Coach Krzyzewski down at Duke, about Bill Belichick and his life. And there's just been so many other great books of golf about Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus. So he's a very famous, very accomplished New York Times best-selling author. And he's written a new book right now that is all about Aaron Rodgers, Out of the Darkness, the mystery of Aaron Rodgers. We all got an electronic copy of the book. Have you guys had a chance to dive into this book like I did a little bit last night? What'd you read about last night, Alex?
Well, I read like the first 30 plus pages about it, and it was very interesting to hear about just like a great American story about Aaron Rodgers' grandfather and his time serving as a pilot and being captured by the Nazis. Just insane story that I got to read in the beginning.
I got the table of contents and went deeper into the book, into like the 260s of like the 360s, because I wanted to read about the divorce between Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy, and I wanted to see how that was being reported. So today, the book comes out. I know there was a lot of pre-ordering going on. Out of the Darkness, the mystery of Aaron Rodgers. Here it is. And here is Ian O'Connor, the author. Ian, thank you very much for being here, for being with us for the first time. Congratulations on the launch of the book. How are things going here early today on the day where you let it out?
Thanks a lot, Scott. And guys, I appreciate you having me on. It's been very hectic, but this is a great opportunity to talk to you about it. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's congratulations, man. I guess my first question is from the radio TV side that I sit on versus the author writing side that you sit on. How do books like this come to be, and how do you convince a subject like an Aaron Rodgers to even, give you the time of day to put something like this together?
No, good question. And actually, sometimes they don't give you any cooperation. My last two books, unauthorized biographies of Bill Belichick and Coach K, both said no. Now, Belichick actually recruited people and called them and asked them not to talk to me. Coach K didn't do that. He didn't talk to me, but he said, I will encourage my friends to talk to you. So I've run the full gamut of cooperation, non-cooperation. Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus was full cooperation. Derek Jeter was some cooperation. And Rodgers really was no cooperation for my entire process. I interviewed 250 people, and I kept trying to get him through the Jets, through his agent. I contacted Aaron directly. I sent him my past books on Belichick and Coach K, and nothing. I got nothing but indifference and non-responses. So I handed in my manuscript in late January, early February, and thinking that this book would be published without him. And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, I get a message from the Jets. Aaron is now willing to see you. So I flew from New Jersey out to his place in Malibu. He's got a mansion right on the Pacific Ocean. So we sat on the ocean for 2 hours as sort of a fact-checking exercise. I will say it was the nicest backyard interview or setting for an interview I've ever experienced.
Amazing. O'Connor is here. His brand new book is out today, Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers. Alex, why don't you get us started since you read the actual beginning part, and then we'll dig deeper in with Ian.
Before I even get to what I read, I was just more curious about, the way I read it. It almost felt like Rodgers was almost forced to talk to you because he wanted to hear what was said to you in all the 250 interviews. What was the mood, the tone that Rodgers had in that Malibu backyard?
Yeah, so we're literally sitting on a bluff over the ocean. It was a beautiful setting. The sun's out. It was a nice day, like it usually is in Malibu. And it was a healthy give and take. I didn't feel that he was forced to do it. It's possible he was. I could be wrong. I thought it was more a case of me wearing him down. Like, I contacted so many people close to him who were texting him asking for permission to talk to me. And my understanding is, in talking to some people close to him, is they told Aaron, and this guy seems legit. He seems like he wants to do it the right way. And if you look at my previous works, I think I've been fair to all my subjects and then some. So it's possible it was a combination of those two things or one over the other. Either way, I've always thought he was the best interview in the NFL from afar. I never covered him on a daily basis, but when he's at the podium, he's thoughtful. He speaks in long form answers. He doesn't speak in cliches. He thinks and then he answers. And you may not like the answers. You may not like his stated beliefs, but he's a reporter's dream. At least I always felt that way. And in those 2 hours, and I would have loved to have had 15 hours with him, but he made the book better. And he agreed to talk about sensitive issues on the record, and I very much appreciated that.
Ian, was anybody else there? Was it just you and him? I mean, was there literally nobody else there?
There were two other people there inside. We went outside. We were alone. But his assistant, Ryan West, and his chef, Jason Paps, they were there inside. And then we were outside. And actually, I had my phone and a tape recording device going, and I said to Aaron, at any point, just tell me if you wanted me to turn these off, I will. And he never did. He never asked me to turn them off. And actually, the sun was beating down on them, and he reached out. He's got gigantic hands and covered my devices and said, hey, let's move these in the shade. So he was even worried that I was going to get his words accurately and make sure the tape recording devices were working. So I also appreciated that.
All right. Ian O'Connor is here. His new book, Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers, actually launched today, and we've got him here on Kaplan and Crew. Alex, how much time do we have in this segment? Ian, we'll take a short 2-minute break, and then we'll come back and spend more time, but I just want to make sure how much time we have.
About 3 minutes.
Okay, great. So, Alex, start us off with what you read, because I didn't know about Aaron Rodgers' grandfather.
Yeah, so it was very interesting because why did you decide to go so far back when telling the story about Aaron Rodgers, to go into the story of his grandfather being a pilot, being captured, being a prisoner of war? Why did you find that to be such an important part of his story?
Good question, Alex. I just think whenever you have a chance as a writer to write about one of the greatest members of the greatest generation, you take it. And I'm a human being first, a journalist second. I actually wanted to start the book with a positive story about this broken family. There's so much negativity has surrounded that family, estranged now for 10 years. that I thought it was a good opportunity to also give the reader something different, something they didn't know. I told Aaron stories about his grandfather he didn't know. And I was lucky enough to run into a military records expert in Minnesota named Dan Matthews, who dug up a lot of this material. And so his grandfather was an absolutely amazing combat pilot in his B-24. He was on fire, bullet-ridden, his plane, his B-24, with 10 men aboard on St. Patrick's Day in 1944 over Nazi Germany. He said it was the loneliest feeling in the world because the rest of his squadron had peeled off to the next stage of their mission. He was literally all alone on fire above Germany, and he somehow got that plane back to Italy and the American base there, saving 11 lives, including his own. So when he was shot down, when the plane was on fire, before he got captured, he steered his B-24 away from other American planes because he thought his might blow up and he didn't want to kill another American on a different plane. So that is the very definition of a hero. And nobody had ever told the story. Aaron didn't know much of it. So I thought that was the right way to open the book.
Yeah, I know when I got a copy of the book, Ian, it was on an electronic version. It was on my phone. And I'm old school. Like, I want to hold it. I want to have it in my hands. I want to actually feel it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So reading a book electronically and worse on your phone, where all of a sudden now I got to admit that I can't really see anything. I got to break out my glasses. Oh, I can't see anything. I got to read this on my phone. But so it's interesting. I got to go back and read that because for me, when I got the table of contents, I said to myself, I've got to read how Ian reports the breakup between Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy, because to me, one of the all-time defining moments of Aaron Rodgers' career is that breakup. So I'd like to talk to you about that coming right back. Browner, I know, wants to jump in. We've all got a lot more questions. Stick around, everybody. Ian O'Connor is here. It's going to be a very, very quick 2-minute timeout. Out of the Darkness is the book. If you are interested in Aaron Rodgers, like I know I am, this is the book you're going to need to hustle up and get, and it's out today. More with Ian coming right back.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
One change in the legislature in Missouri is that this guy who's just totally against sports betting there is not going away.
This has been in progress since last fall. They got 300 and some thousand signatures. All they needed was 170, but those were all certified by local election boards. That had to be done by earlier this month. By tomorrow, the Secretary of State has to verify all those signatures.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, everybody. More with Ian O'Connor right now. His new book, Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers, is on sale today. I know a lot of people pre-ordered it. People already have it in their hands. But for those of you that are interested in Aaron Rodgers and the character that he is, like I know I am, I can't wait to read this entire book. Ian, one of the things one of the reasons I really am interested in Aaron Rodgers, my college roommate was his quarterback coach at Green Bay, a guy by the name of Alex Van Pelt. He's mentioned in your book. And I know what happened, meaning like I know the version of what happened. Aaron Rodgers used to come out here to San Diego. He used to train here. And Alex, when he got the job, used to have to come out here every summer and just sort of make nice, because there was this conflict between Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy. I jumped ahead in the book to go read that part of it. I love the part where you guys, the reporters are all talking as Rodgers comes out of a press conference and they're like, oh my God, he's actually trying to get McCarthy fired. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened back then?
Well, first off, they definitely butted heads over play calling. And I have a scene in the book or a story in the book where Aaron's most devastating postseason defeat, and he's had a number of them, was in 2014. That NFC Championship game collapsed at Seattle where they couldn't recover the onside kick, and 7 other things went wrong in the final 5 minutes, and they somehow lost that game. And Aaron's second trip to the Super Bowl doesn't happen. Before that game, he told McCarthy, listen, I watched film of the Cowboys beating Seattle during the regular season, and Tony Romo ran 6 plays against that Seahawks defense that they couldn't stop. I want these plays run over and over and over. And McCarthy only ran one of those plays 3 times each, or 3 of those plays 1 time each. But Aaron was upset about that. And that's just representative of the relationship they had. Now, they did win a Super Bowl together. You can't take that away from either man. And McCarthy did develop him into a franchise player. But there was a lot of friction over play calling. And sometimes Aaron felt like, hey, during the week, I said I like these plays. They're not being called on Sunday. And also McCarthy sometimes, although McCarthy denied this to me, that he tried to install plays. He might see a play on Saturday in a college football game or Thursday night in an NFL game that he liked and tried to install it late in the week. And Aaron didn't like that. And so there was a lot of that. And finally, that last season, 2018, kind of ugly. And Aaron, in that press conference you're talking about, really started to push to get McCarthy out of there.
But I think, Ian, I think that's part of the thing that's so fascinating about Aaron Rodgers is the relationship side of his life. He won a Super Bowl with McCarthy, but then essentially pushed him out. And then, there's the whole story of his family. I know you cover it in the book, how at one point he's in this relationship with this actress, Olivia Munn, and then she apparently disagreed with something that his family had said. He took her side rather than their side. And at least in the small portions that I've read so far, that sort of seemed to be the downward spiral between Aaron Rodgers and like all of his family.
Well, a lot of his family, yeah. He still actually talks to an uncle and a couple of cousins. So he's not estranged from the entire family, but enough of the family that makes it obviously a sad story. But there are so many issues with the estrangement. Everybody's looking for one defining moment or development, and that really doesn't exist. Olivia Munn was part of it. The family, the parents blame her for most of the estrangement. I don't know if that's fair because she hasn't dated him in 7 years.
Right.
And it still exists. But he had issues with his brothers that seemed kind of petty to me, and their issues with him kind of petty to me. Religion was a factor early on. I don't think so anymore. Olivia was part of it. But Aaron did have some feelings going into that relationship with Olivia Munn in 2014 about family members taking his generosity for granted and maybe revolving too much around his success. Now, his parents don't feel that way. They think they don't agree with that. And his brothers didn't talk to me for the book, but they've told other people they don't agree with that assessment. But the bottom line is that's the way Aaron felt and feels. And I do have a hopeful scene in the book of a reconciliation at Lake Tahoe last summer. It was brief, but Aaron hugged his father at the celebrity golf tournament. Ed cried, Ed Rodgers, the dad, and they said, I love you to each other. And Aaron says in my book, for the first time since the estrangement started in 2014, that he wants a relationship with a family member, that being his father. So hopefully that's the first baby step towards reconciliation.
Really interesting. Really interesting. Let me just reset for everybody who's just tuning in. Out of the Darkness is the book, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers. Ian O'Connor is the author, and it drops today.
Just a question. Obviously, as of late, Aaron has felt more comfortable talking about whatever is on his mind, whatever his beliefs are, whatever, whether you want to call them conspiracies or whatever. Why do you think that is as of late? For a decade plus in Green Bay, it almost seemed like he was just a quarterback. And yeah, we heard stories about who he was dating, but now it's like he'll go on podcasts, he'll say whatever he wants, he'll embrace, maybe not mainstream culture. Why do you think that is all of a sudden as of late that he feels more comfortable doing that?
Well, the McAfee show gave him a national platform he didn't have before on a regular basis. I think that's part of it, just that he had that forum to express views and just more people were listening to them. And I think that COVID changed his life. And those 4 words, yeah, I've been immunized, in August of 21, he became a villain in the NFL. He was considered one of the good guys and socially aware and on the right side of issues, like he supported Colin Kaepernick's right to protest and things of that nature. And then all of a sudden it changed with his COVID stance. And I think what happened was a lot of media members who praised him for his social awareness and things like supporting Kaepernick then turned on him. In his mind, it became a war. And he dug in, and he also said, at this stage of my life and career, I don't give a you-know-what, and I'm going to say my truth, whether people like it or not. I will say this, he's a fearless public speaker. Not many are, including myself. And even though I disagree with a number of things he says, I do have an appreciation for someone who is that fearless in the public arena.
Yeah. I can appreciate that also. Because most people are just trying to make everybody happy or make everybody like them. Ian, it is a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much. Congratulations on this book. Incredible. At least what I've read so far. And I'm going to get Jimmy to send me a hard copy because I can't be watching this thing or reading this thing on my phone, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll text Jimmy right now and tell him that you said that. We'll get you a book in the next day or two, I think, by at the very least.
I'd like to actually have you back, if you don't mind, later on, if that's cool.
Yeah, if you're done reading it and you want to have a conversation, let's do it.
Okay, you got it. I know, Browner, I'm sure you probably want to read it too. Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers, Ian O'Connor's new book. It drops today. Ian, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Scott. And guys, take care.
All right. I got to read this whole thing. I see somebody is in our live YouTube chat. Jessica Smith says, I don't think anyone here cares about Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. Browner, I know you're not a big Rodgers fan. I just find him to be a curious character.
All right.
Look at that face. Look at that face. Wow. Just nothing, huh? Won't even talk about Aaron Rodgers. All right. I like the protest. I do. All right. Everybody stick around. Here come your shout outs. First ones of the day. This is Kaplan and Crew.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockhold. Right hand right back from Mike Perry. Now 3-0 in BKFC.
Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah, folks. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Perry on the target. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
All right, great friends. Hey, this is Kaplan and Crew, and instant reaction to this Ian O'Connor interview about Aaron Rodgers and Ian's new book about Aaron Rodgers. Brown, I'll start with you. You were mysteriously silent. You usually ask the great questions, the hard-hitting questions, the questions that make the guests go, that's a great freaking question. Are you just completely anti-Aaron Rodgers, and that's why you stayed quiet during that?
I will not contribute in any way to anything that helps Aaron Rodgers at all. Zero. None, nada, man. Won't do it. Can't do it. The idea that this guy is now, I'm sure Ian's a great guy and he works hard on his books. He's got books about lots of people. So this isn't directed at him, but anything that, Aaron Rodgers has to say, I could literally care less, man. This guy and what he did during the COVID situation is just, I'm good, man. I'll pass. I'll pass.
Here's some feedback from a buddy of mine. I always mention my college buddies who listen back in Philadelphia. Just tuned in and caught a couple of minutes about Aaron Rodgers. That dude, meaning Rodgers, is an F-face anti-vax mother effer. He definitely brings out a lot of strong opinions. My son sends me a text. Browner should be so much more famous. His character is so great always. This show should make him blow up. My son is your biggest fan, of course.
I love that guy, man. Shout out.
Alex, how about you? Some feedback here from the great friends. I see a lot of people have got a comment about this Ian O'Connor book, and it's not really about Ian. It's just about about Rodgers, really. Tony Reyes, nice interview, fellas. I will definitely get that book. Me too. Like, I'm super interested.
You're not paying for it.
No, I'm not paying for it. Jessica Smith, maybe the new people on SportsGrid are interested in this. I'm just saying that the people that have been here don't care for him. Okay, Jessica, but I don't know that that's 100% true. Here's Scott D. I'm with Browner. Big Browner knows what's up. Okay. Yeah. I know. Listen, I know that Aaron Rodgers is not a well-liked guy. I'm not suggesting to you that he is. Clinton St. Clair, laugh out loud at Browner.
No. But I'm with Browner too. Like, I don't care about Aaron Rodgers. If this was Aaron Rodgers pimping a book, I wouldn't think we would do it. But this is personally, we talk about everything on the show. Jimmy Shapiro is a great friend of this show. He hooks us up with dozens of guests every radio row. So I was just helping a friend out. He asked if we wanted to have Ian on, and I said, yeah.
Yeah, but I got to say, like,
I don't even think I asked you guys about it. I just think
you didn't. You just booked it. And by the way, Jimmy Shapiro, I don't know if you guys know this guy or not. He's this little tiny guy. He's about 5'6". He's not a tall guy. He's not a thick guy. He's not big at all. He's a tiny little guy. And you know what? He's got a giant schwanz.
Mm.
And I don't know that because I've seen it. I know that because he's told it to me. Any guy who says he's got a giant schwanz, I mean, you got to give it up to the guy, right? No, Browner. No, absolutely not. No. All right.
No, just totally checked out today.
I know, Browner. I'm like shocked. I'm like, why didn't you tell us yesterday? Like, hey guys, I know for 3 days Alex has been preparing us for Ian O'Connor. I know he sent us email after email. I'm not interested. I don't like Aaron Rodgers, and I will not contribute to this interview. Why don't you at least just tell us?
Okay, first of all, let me be very clear about something.
All right, go ahead.
You guys are fantastic. Alex got the question in there that refer to, hey, that's a great question. So throughout all our mainstream interviews, we always get it. That's a great question. Alex covered that. You guys got in depth with the book. So there was really no need for me to.
I would have kept you off screen if I known you weren't going to talk. Like, I mean, you didn't say, I put you on screen. I thought you were going to eventually jump in. It would have been nice to know that you weren't going to say anything.
Right.
That's all.
I thought coming back second segment, I was going to ask the first question, and I thought Browner's up.
I did not plan to not say anything. That wasn't something that I cooked before all this happened. This wasn't something like, I'm going to show them. That's just how it played out. You guys were asking great questions. There was no need for me to interject. And so I didn't. Sometimes you just got to, rotate on defense. Sometimes you got to be the left tackle. You just got to be there when they're ready to use you. And that didn't come up this time. And they don't try to turn it into, I boycotted this man. This was a great book.
Bro, you took
everywhere.
You took a knee on that interview. It's all good, man.
Wow. And Aaron Rodgers would have supported that, by the way.
I took a knee as in victory formation. This thing is over. They got this. I don't even mean to get involved. Don't try to make it look like I was like protesting. This is a great gig. This guy's been on ESPN, FS1, and now he's here on our national show. So this is good. This is great for us. This shows that we're in the wheel of, national talk. But don't try to make it like I boycotted this man, because I didn't.
You kind of did.
Pat y'all up on the back, bro. Why y'all what y'all doing? Why y'all trying to make me look like I took the side road? Y'all doing great.
Didn't do anything. I didn't say anything.
Why can't I just say y'all was great? Why can't I just watch y'all be good? Why can't I just watch y'all excel? I mean, what?
It's a good question.
Good question.
Brothers on the back.
All right, hold on one second, everybody. Coming right back.
Damn.
I want to get back to a couple of things. Number one, I want to get back to what happened in the NL West last night because that is like still on my mind, and lots of NFL football right around the corner. This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino.